In this third lesson in qualitative research methods, we need to begin with the end in mind. Finally, after research, you have to write a research report. So let us talk about the research report so that whatever lessons we are going to do after this will feed into this structure that finally we will have to produce. Now, why a report? As I have said, research is about reliability. If you don't report what you exactly did to find the results that you claim you found, then someone else, another researcher, cannot repeat it. And then the transparency with which you are going to explain what you did is going to increase the reliability of your findings. So let us talk about the outline of a research report. And then finally, I would say what is the difference between research proposal and research report. But let us begin with the end in mind, the research report. American Psychology Association has proposed a way of carrying out research and reporting researches. People often talk about referencing system from APA, American Psychology Association. But APA not only talks about referencing system, it talks about the structure of a research report. And I'm basically relying on the APA structure. According to APA, basically we need 4 elements in a research report. First element is an introduction. You remember the 4 elements of a scientific inquiry from Francis Bacon? It is exactly this. So we need an introduction where we are going to describe the phenomenon that we are going to study. And finally, we are raising some research questions. And if needed, we might state a hypothesis or set of hypotheses. And the second section, according to APA, is method. So literature review in APA in short research reports get integrated into introduction. But in a thesis, we will follow a different structure. But let us understand the logic. The first step in research report is introduction, where we describe the phenomenon. The second step is to describe the method. How are you going to, or how in the past tense, how did you gather the data? And the third section is, what did you find? What are the results? And the fourth section is discussion. What is the implication of your finding in terms of the existing knowledge? Are you adding new knowledge, or is your finding supporting existing knowledge? Introduction, method, results, discussion. 4 parts. Whereas often, if in the university structure, we have to produce a thesis. Now, thesis is a lengthy exercise in terms of the written work. And therefore, being lengthy, we divide it into chapters. And because your academic work also should demonstrate extensive reading, what we are actually doing is to divide the APA introduction into 2 chapters. So you have chapter 1, introduction, and chapter 2, literature review, chapter 3, method, chapter 4, results, chapter 5, discussion. And you might have a conclusion as the last chapter. And every institution will have its own recommended structure, and every department will have its own specific reality requirements, and you need to focus on that. But what we are talking about is a generic scope of a research report here. So let us explore each of the chapters very quickly. In the first chapter, introduction, we begin by really giving a background to the problem. What is this problem? What is its impact on the society? And then in doing the background to the problem, you really need a little bit of literature review. It's not that you're sitting at your desk and saying this is a problem. You are saying what have other people said about this problem. You can present statistics. You can also present things that we already know about this problem. And towards the end of this section, you're trying to show that actually there are elements that we don't know about this problem. And this is problem statement. So the second subsection in the introduction is problem statement. What is problem statement? that we do not know something about this. So the problem statement is not the social problem. It is not the phenomenon per se. It is the lack of knowledge about the problem. So we begin by describing the background to the problem, and we go on to state the problem. Then that will take us to the objectives of the present study. In a sense, we are saying we know this about the problem, but we don't know about these things about the problem. Therefore, the present study intends to examine these objectives. And objectives could also go with research questions. Some universities say if you have research questions, you don't need to have research objectives. Yes, because they are repetitive. But in quantitative research, you would like to have hypotheses as possible answers to the research questions. And that is chapter 1.